Exorcise the ghost of Vietnam.
You are looking at an exorcism. An America ridding itself of a ghost that has haunted it for a quarter of a century. This is where it began, in a war whose victory never came, whose purpose was never defined, whose morality was never clear. Vietnam ended as no war had ever ended for America, in defeat. The sense of national impotence this caused deepened in 1980, when we could not even rescue our hostages in Iran because the helicopters broke down in the desert. It deepened again in 1983 when 240 Marines were killed in their barracks in Lebanon. In the Gulf, everything seemed to work. The weapons did what they were supposed to do, and instead of the tactical skill of the Viet Cong, there was an enemy utterly routed. The men who symbolized the military were different this time as well. In Vietnam, there were promises that were never kept, and a widening gap between what was said and what happened. This time, there was no credibility gap. The American public believed what the generals said. The language was not the doublespeak of Vietnam, but clear and blunt.
First, we're going to cut it off, and then we're going to kill it.
And there was nothing like the confusion that surrounded Vietnam. The president's commitment of troops was massive from the start. Support from the world community was consistent. And unlike Vietnam, where the war escalated almost without public debate, the Congress this time debated and ultimately approved the use of force. In Vietnam, it seemed to some as if we were fighting the very people we had gone there to defend. How, critics asked, could it be a moral war if we were destroying what we claimed to be saving? It's far too early, of course, to know what the future will bring, whether other conflicts will be seen as clearly and as clearly justified as this one. But we can be sure that the images of Vietnam that filled our popular culture, with good and evil hopelessly entangled, will not be seen this time. That what most Americans will take from this war is the sense that its rightness was as clear as its outcome.